Hey, you guys, guess what this is? This is Meet the authors of the Fourfold Formula, which is a book, #1 book out of 3 in the All Things Wellness series coming out this summer. Marcus Vetstein and I, we got a kitty cat in the house that has a beautiful profile. We've got 3 authors. We've got Sophia and Angie and Christine here. We're going to get to know them a little bit more. If you guys have not seen the story teasers that we already did, I'll put a link in the comment section below. So we did some story teasers with these guys, and they were reading a little bit of their stories, about 250 words, just to give you a taste of their true personal stories. So we had actually 30 contributing authors. We ended up with 40 writers because all 7 of the media partners also wrote a story, which isn't very common. And then we had James Redfield obviously write the foreword, and then Marcus and I. So we had 40 writers, and we got the storytellers, and now we're meeting some of the authors. We're going to find out their favorite colors and what they eat for dessert. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hello. Oh my gosh, so good to see you guys. Okay, we have New Hampshire in the house. We have Angie's from Colorado, and Sophia, where are you? Pennsylvania? Where?
No, ma'am. I'm from the corn, Indiana.
You are from Indiana. How come I forgot that? I think I asked your mother that last time. Indiana's just, what? Come on, girl.
Okay, yeah.
All right, you guys, let's get to know each other a little bit. So we're going to talk about what you do most of the time, which most of the time means what's your job? What brings in the cash? Now, if you're at home eating bonbons all day, do tell that. Christine, what do you do during the day? What takes up most of your time?
I run a home daycare for infant.
And may Jesus also be with you.
I hope he's with me.
You run a home daycare. What ages?
Infant to that when they start school. Every once in a while during the pandemic, I had all the school age here doing their computer work because they didn't have anywhere else to go.
Right.
It was with me in that 2-year period. Whew.
Oh my God. How long have you been doing that?
About, let me see, I'm going to say 25 years.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That lights flickering.
Saint.
And thunder. That is, Lord be with you. See, I told you. That's awesome. Angie, what do you do during the day? What's the most takes up most of your time?
Well, I have 2 jobs. So I work as a patient access representative for our local hospital here. And I also work at a local hardware lumber store as a floor manager.
Because you have more than 168 hours a week, apparently.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Whoa. Sophia, what do you do?
Well, it's summertime, so I'm not in school right now for the first time since early high school. I've been doing classes basically all the way through since then. But I am a receptionist. I work as needed, and I also am an intern for one of my professors. His name is Dr. Andrew Whitehead. He is a professor of sociology at IUPUI, and I'm working for him in the website is called The Arta. It's a religion, like they have all these, it's like a database for religion. So like anything you want to know is on this website, or all the data that's been collected so far. So it's been a really cool opportunity, and I keep busy.
That's in line with your degree, right? Kind of, is that?
Yeah, sociology for sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, fantastic. Okay, let's talk about, let's see, what do you do for play? You know, if you guys know me, the F word, I can't say it anymore because I get in trouble, but the fun word, what do you do? See, you didn't believe me, you didn't trust me. Okay, come back to you, Christine. What do you do for fun? Like, honestly, what are some of your passions, or what do you do with maybe family or friends for fun?
Well, I like to camp with my family. Yeah. I do. I go to the ocean. That's for me.
Yeah, because there's so many oceans in New Hampshire.
I know, but there is that one. You can chop through the ice to get into the water. It's awesome.
Yes. That's awesome. Okay, I got you camping. I remember. Okay, good job. Angie, what about you? What do you like to do for fun?
We travel a lot. We like to travel, work on the yard.
Work on the, I like yard work too. Ooh, get down to nature. You know, down here, down in Florida where I live, you got to be a little bit careful of who you're playing in the yard with. There are lots of animals. I'm staying at a friend's house right now, and there are things that aren't very, it's different than where we grew up. I grew up in New Hampshire. So Christine's from New Hampshire. Angie's my sister. If you guys haven't seen us in Story Teaser, we talked about that. You know, we grew up with like, there's a frog. Maybe you were that way, Sophia. There's a frog. Look, oh, you know, different animals down here. Sophia, what do you do for fun?
I am pretty crafty. I like to knit and puzzle and read and write. I just learned how to crochet this year. That was on my New Year's resolution list. So actually did one this time.
Yeah. It's a miracle. When you get older, you'll have all these years. All you do is you white out the year, and the New Year's resolutions are all the same. You lose the same 20 pounds every year, just in case you didn't know. All right, when you guys decided to be a part of this book, because it's not something that's just like a poem about something random. It is a true and personal story. So let's circle back around. We're going to go to Sophia actually this time. So what kind of internal conversation or external conversation did you have that convinced you to say, I'm going to write a story that's going to be kind of public, or is going to be public, but I'm going to do it? What did that take for you to do that?
Well, honestly, my mom is the one who came to me and talked to me about this, and she's very eloquent and very well spoken. She explained that there are a lot of benefits to this, and honestly, I have always wanted to be published in some way, shape, or form. I write poetry. I feel like I could share I've been through more trauma that I didn't talk about in this story that I've wanted to share as well. But the story that I'm sharing, the idea of it is something I've always wanted to share. So this was a really exciting opportunity for me to really explore like that time period and that little girl, you know.
Absolutely. You know, we've got, as I said, 30 authors that I'm trying to do these get to knows, excuse me. And the three of you, it's really interesting that you're together, because this wasn't strategic. You guys got to pick dates and time. So it's not strategic that the three of you are here, and this isn't rehearsed that I'm about to say this. But when we're, you know, Marcus and I are reading these stories and editing these stories, they were coming through me, and, you know, the authors and myself going back and forth kind of initially quite a bit. And then Marcus kind of came into it and towards the end of the process. And Christine's was the first story of the ones, and I'd read quite a few before then, but Christine's was one of the first stories where I got really emotional with it, where I can remember sitting at my desk and going, oh no, because I hadn't thought about that process of my emotions getting involved with your stories. I just thought, oh, I'm just going to edit some stories. Cool. Put some ideas in there, and they're going to go in a book, and I'm going to help people. This is great. But it was that was when I really realized that, wow, this is going to be a journey. And then Angie's story they've all impacted us. So I don't want anybody listening to think that they haven't all impacted us. But Angie's story was the first one where Marcus, as a physician in the medical world, saw the other side of which he hadn't been touched in his personal world, with Angie's story with, you know, drugs and addiction. And he didn't know Angie was my sister. We kept that. And so he had called me and he said, like, I can't believe, like, this is like real. And it really affected him. And then Sophia's story, the thing that was so unique about yours, as you mentioned your mom, is we've got a mom and daughter in this book, you guys, that didn't share their story with each other until, what was it, Sophia, the night before we did the story teaser? It was,
yeah
Yeah.
I felt like we should read it before, because I knew we were both gonna, and we both totally cried when we read it on our own. But yeah, we didn't tell each other what we were writing about even. I mean,
Yeah, it was so unique because I'm like, oh my God. And I didn't know what to do with it. I'm like, oh my God, here her mom's writing about her husband, and you guys will see this when the book comes out, but her mom's writing about her husband passing. And then I'm getting a story from the daughter about the dad passing. And I'm going, talk about two perspectives. So that's what I loved about, it's just unique that you guys are all in here because the stories were so profound. Would you learn about, well, Angie, let's go back to you. What were your thoughts about trying to decide whether you were going to share your story in a public forum?
I didn't, when you had mentioned about a story, I had not thought about what it would be. I just happened to come home from work and sit down, and the title just came out, and then I just started writing, and then the original draft I sent to you was encrypted, and I couldn't remember everything that I had written and so then I had to go back over and do it again, not knowing if what I put out there was the same, or I can't, because I can't remember what I had written the first time. And I was horrified. I didn't know what to do at that point. And then when you were bringing out points or editing, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. I don't know, this is really raw, and it was really stuff that I had suppressed for many years, and I didn't want to bring it out. And then as it was flowing, I was just like, well, I really hope that this helps somebody else in this situation, and to give somebody hope, and that, you can change your life around.
That's so good. I loved being a part of this process. It's like, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life is writing this book, ever. Because I've always, I always wanted to help people and to have people a part of my life, but I didn't know I could marry up my love for writing and my love for people, and yet coaching them in a way that I get deep into their lives, their secrets, it's such a thing to hold. It's so sensitive to hold everything that's gone on with you guys. I can't even tell you, writing a book with one person is one thing, but writing it with 40, I can't even express to you the blessing. It's crazy that I feel, right? Okay, Christine, was it hard for you to decide to share your story? What was your conversation with yourself?
It was, my thought was, is it going to offend someone? You know what I mean? Are there still people alive that it's going to upset? And then after talking to you, I was like, no, she's right. It's my story. I'm not doing it to upset somebody. Right. And so, I mean, it did it. Hopefully it works out. But then I thought the people that it would upset would be the same people I've always upset. So
exactly. Well,
we'll just go that wave.
Yeah, big claps down there from Sophia. See, and that's the thing. We all have perspective to the same story. I got to tell a funny story. I don't remember my sister riding the school bus. She's in the room. Look at her. So this is what's hysterical, is it the perception of being in this exact same experience. We all have different memories and different things we embed from that exact same experience. I really have that as an example in this book with the Longs, with Sophia and her mom, because it's the same event. I can't make it up. It happened the same day, the same people, the same, and yet the stories and how it affected them and how it affected each other is so different. And that's why it's our story to tell, and we could do it really respectfully. I always said that to you guys, is that there's a way to say, hey, preface, this is my perception, this is my story, this is whatever.
Right.
All right. So where do you see yourself, like Sophia, where do you see the book's going to come out? Your book's going to be a bestseller. And where do you see yourself? Like, let's go with a year from now. What's going to be happening in Sophia's life?
That's an interesting question, because next spring January through May, I'm going to be studying abroad. I'm not sure where yet exactly. I'm looking somewhere, maybe Denmark or Sweden. But I mean, it's what, July? I'll be just coming back from that. I'm hoping to get my foot in the door with the nonprofit organization, whether that's through this opportunity or through going abroad. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing what opens up for me.
You will. It's going to happen, sister. It's going to happen without, it's going to come to you. It's coming to you. Hard and
I
heavy.
believe it.
No, it is.
Fantastic.
It's like done. Letters in the mail. Where do you see yourself a year from now, Christine?
I'd like to say, retired on a beach with a Mai Tai.
Hey, that's
Probably not. The age cutoff's not quite there, so we'll see.
okay.
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna, maybe a year from now, be patting myself on the back because I always wanted to write, and I did write, but not.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I will just revel in myself. Even if it was a total flop, I did it,
You did. do
along
it.
with everyone else. And so I
Yeah.
think I'll just revel in that.
Well, you know what, you guys, 2 years ago, Christine came to me. We were working together on another project. So I have a real-time transformation docuseries, and she was in season 1. And one of the things Christine said to me is, I would like to start writing. I write, but I'd like to get it out there. And I said, well, why don't you start blogging for me? Just blog for me, write about whatever. It's about real people, real world, real time. Just do whatever. Use your voice. Doesn't have to be perfect. Not paying my bloggers. It's a playground to just have fun. And she's like, oh, and you were my first blogger, and you've been blogging for me for 2 years. And that in and of itself, don't forget that remember, that was a big step. And look
That was a big step.
yeah, look at you. Angie, where do you see yourself a year from now?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question because I don't know what I'm doing next week.
Dream.
I hope to write another story. Or even 2 stories. I don't really know of what yet, but I'm sure it'll come to me. I hope to not have to work 2 jobs.
Yes.
I don't have to now, but
You are not going to work 2 jobs.
yeah, I hope to allow my body to rest a little bit so I can get healthier.
That's nice. I love that. I love that. Okay, you guys, let's start doing making me some promises. We're going to start with I say statements that they happen. Okay, there's no hope and a dream and blah, blah, blah. Hopes and dreams don't come true unless you take action. So we're taking action, and we're going to convince ourselves that things are going to be amazing. You're doing amazing things. And we just forget to kind of do this along the way of the stuff we did back there. We forget about it. So think about how far you've come. We're getting ready to launch the book really soon. You'll be interviewed by lots of people, and book 2 is coming out, and just roll with the momentum. Don't let imposter syndrome come in. Don't let any fear come in. We've built a community. You're held really tightly and with no judgment. You know that, Sophia, you know that. You're our youngest writer. You and your best friend, Pearl, you guys are about the same age. So the wisdom we have from your age group to our oldest is brilliant in every age, right? Every generation is brilliant. So I thank you very much, ladies, for joining me this evening, and we will see you in the really official interviews when they start to happen. All right, everybody, see you in the next chat. Bye, guys.
See ya. Bye.